Hello friends, welcome back to the lectures of heat transfer. In the last lecture we have seen the concept of thermal radiation, then absorptivity, reflectivity, transmittivity. After all, we have seen some of the basic laws which are governing the heat transfer due to radiation, that is Stephens-Boltzmann's law, Wien's displacement law, and Kirchhoff's law of absorption, or say absorptivity, or say emissivity. We have seen the term emissive power and the emissivity, and in this lecture we are going to start up the new topic, which is one of the most fundamental for the subject heat transfer in conduction, that is three-dimensional heat conduction equation. The title of today's topic is three-dimensional heat conduction equation. Heat conduction equation in Cartesian coordinate system. In Cartesian coordinates. So let us start off with. Now this equation is being a very fundamental equation, and it is applicable to every heat conduction phenomena, whether it is one dimensional, whether it is two dimensional, three dimensional, whether the material is isotropic or not, whether the heat conduction is under steady state or unsteady state. Irrespective of all that, this equation is applicable to every possible case. So let us start up with. Now I am going to take down one small element of any of the conduction system, heat conduction system, and that is, it's over here. I am going to take down one rectangular block, this is very small, whose dimension are infinitesimally small. Say this is a block, and if you see the dimensions of this, let us say this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, and say this is the z-axis. And for this small element of the solid through which the conduction is going to take place, this is of the dimensions. Let us say the length of this cuboid along x direction is dx. Say I am going to write down it over here. This is dx. The length of this element in y direction, this is the y-axis, and this is the z-axis. The length of this element in y direction is dy. So I am going to write it over here, and the length of this element in z direction is dz. So I will prefer to write it over here, that is dz. Next, consider at the beginning, this material is not isotropic material, so it will have different properties in different directions. For example, if I talk about the term thermal conductivity K represents the thermal conductivity of the material, but as I mentioned, the material is not isotropic, so it will have, K will have different values in different directions. For example, I will say Kx as the thermal conductivity of that matter in x direction, Ky as the thermal conductivity of this matter in y direction, and Kz be the thermal conductivity of the matter in z direction. So these are what the considerations. Next, there exists somewhat internal heat generation into this element. Internal heat generation may be due to anything, either it may be some chemical reactions taking place inside it, or say some electrical heating wire is kept inside it, and that is generating the heat by its own. So if I consider that, so G is, I would like to name it as G, where G stands for, it is the heat generated per unit volume of that element. So that's what the term G is. Next, obviously now, as we have taken it as non-isotropic material, so every parameter will have different value in different directions. Now let us talk about the heat conducting through that element. Now heat may be coming from any of the, this element has totally 6 surface areas. You can see this is 1, 2, 3, backside 4, and top 5th and bottom 6th surface. So there are totally 6 surfaces for that element, and heat while conducting for that particular element, I can say the heat may be entering into the element through one of the surface and any one of the surface, and may leave through any other surface. I mean, it's random. I mean, freedom is freedom is there for, heat to flow in any of the directions. So if I take down the heat which is flowing into this element in the x direction, I will take down that the heat which is coming into this element in the direction of x is, let us say it is dqx. dqx is the heat flowing into the element in the x direction, and the heat which is going out of this element in x direction, let us say it as, this is dqx plus dx. Since it is coming out of this element at the x coordinate of this, if the x coordinate of this surface is 0, and if the length of this element is in x direction is dx, then the x coordinate of this surface will be x plus dx, and dqx plus dx is representing the heat which is coming out of this element in x direction. In the similar manner, I can take down the heat which is coming into the fluid element in y direction as this one, say this is dqy, and this is what the heat going into the element in y direction, and the heat which is going out of that element in y direction will be, it will be dq y plus dy will be the heat which is going out of that element in y direction, right? And similarly, I can take down the heat which is coming in to this element in z direction. I will prefer to show it by the dotted line so that you can understand it. Let us say it is dqz. This is what the heat which is coming into this element in z direction, and that is at the backside surface, and the heat which is going out of this element in z direction will be equals to, it will be dq z plus dz. So these are what the nomenclatures of the heat which is flowing in and flowing out of that element in 3 different directions, and that we have mentioned over here. By the way, this equation is very much analogous to the fluid flow equation, or continuity equation in 3-dimensional coordinate system for the fluid. So ये बहुत ही similar है fluid flow के equation से, and we have seen that equation in the earlier standard in the second year fluid mechanics. So let us balance up the energy level at all these sections. Now if I follow the law of conservation of energy, what I will get is the total heat going in minus total heat going out will be the net heat accumulated inside it, plus if there exists any of the internal heat generation G, then that has to be added, and that has to be equals to the rate of change of energy of this particular element, and that I would like to write down. That I would like to take down it as heat flowing in, or say heat flowing in minus heat flowing out. This is one part, plus heat generated inside it, that is another part, and it has to be equals to the rate of change of heat of that element. So this is the third part. Now we are going to take down one by one part into consideration. We will find out how much is the magnitude of the net heat accumulation due to flow in and flow out of the heat. Then we will see what is the heat generated, total heat generated within that given volume, and it has to be equal to the rate of change of heat energy of that particular element. And these 3 different parts we are going to take down. Let us say this is the part number 1, this is the first part, this is the second part, and this is the third part. So one by one we are going to take it into the consideration, right? Now, as we are talking about the heat conduction equation, So the fundamental law which is going to govern the heat conduction is the Fourier's law, and I know the Fourier's law is equals to, we know that this is Q dot is equals to, it is minus K A into dt by dx. So this is the Fourier's law, and we are going to apply this Fourier's law to find out dqx, to find out dqx plus dx, to find out dqy, to find out dqy plus dy, then dqz, and then dqz plus dz. So all these elements we are going to find out. So let us apply it to one by one. Let us apply it to dqx. Now what is this dqx? For to apply it to the dqx, I will say if I apply it, then I can get the equation for dqx as equals to, it is minus, now K is standing over here, K is for the thermal conductivity of the material. So K, value of K in x direction is Kx, that we have already considered, since it is not the isotopic material. So Kx, Ky, Kz will be the different thermal conductivities of the same material, of the same element in different directions. So K minus Kx, A. Now the area normal to the direction of flow of heat, in this case you can see this is dqx, the area which is normal to the flow of heat, I think over here is this much is the cross section, I mean this is the area which is normal to the direction of flow of heat. I would like to highlight over here, and this area over here is dy into dz, since this surface is nothing but a rectangle, and the area of this rectangle is dy into dz. So this is A is nothing but dy dz, and this is dt by dx. Now this is the rate of change of temperature with respect to x direction, but we are going to take down this temperature gradient only along the x direction, whereas there may exist the temperature gradient in other direction also, like dy by dt by dy, dt by dz also, but we are going to apply that temperature gradient, we are going to take down this temperature gradient only along x direction. So this differential will be get reduced to the partial differential as dA by t by dA by x. So this is what dqx, right? Now I can get this dqx plus dx in another way. Look at this, in what way I can take down. We have seen this equation in earlier standard. dqx plus dx can be taken as equals to, it is dqx plus, we can take down this as dA by dA by x of dqx over the distance of dx. So this concept we have already seen in the earlier standard, so I will continue this one. So if I take down dqx plus dx, it will be dqx plus dx. Look at this, what I am going to take down. The first term dqx as it is, that we have already found, that is equal to minus of kx into dy dz into dA by t by dA by x, then plus, this is plus as it is, dA by dA by x of the same term, dA by dA by x of the rate of change of dq by dx with respect to x over the distance of dx. So this I can take down as equals to the same term, I am going to write down it over here, it is minus of kx dy dz into, this is dA by t by dA by x over the distance of dx, right? So if I simplify it, what I will get is, I will get this to be equals to dqx plus dx as equals to, it is minus of kx as it is into, this is dy dz into dA by t by dA by x. Now if I take down minus sign outside, so minus of, not this one, minus of, this will be dA by dA by x of, into the bracket, this is kx into, see we haven't taken this kx out of this differential, the reason is kx is nothing but, kx is the thermal conductivity of this element in x direction, and that thermal conductivity itself may also be the function of the space, may also be the function of temperature also. So if we consider kx to be the function of x, then we cannot consider this to be constant, and we cannot take it out of the differential, so we have to keep it within the differential bracket. So dA by dA by x of kx Now this dy dz I am going to take down outside, so minus kx into this is dava t by dava x, and now if I take down this dy dz outside, I will be getting this as dx dy dz. So that is what the equation for dq x plus dx. Now see, this is what dq, see this dqx is the heat flowing into the fluid, into this element in x direction. dqx minus dx is what the heat flowing out of this element in x direction. So the net rate of accumulation of heat into this element due to the heat flow in x direction will be, I will say it as equals to dq heat accumulation due to x direct flow in x direction, dqax is the heat accumulation due to the heat flow in x direction will be equals to, it will be equals to dqx, the heat flowing into the element in x direction, minus dqx plus dx, that is the heat flowing out of that element in x direction. So and if I take down the difference, what I will get is, this is equals to, let us take down it as it is, this one, dqx, how much is dqx? Here is the dqx minus kx, this is minus kx dy dz into dava t by dava x, then minus, now minus of this entire term, so I will prefer to put down a large bracket to this one, and if I take down the minus of this term, minus of the entire bracket, so minus minus will become plus, and what equation I will get here, it will become plus, this is kx dy dz into dava t by dava x, then again minus of minus, this will become plus dava by dava x of, into the large bracket, square bracket, kx into dava t by dava x into dx dy dz, right? So out of that you can check out this term and this term are almost same, I mean not almost, exactly same, so they will get cancelled out each other, I mean they will cancel out each other, plus term and minus term, and what will remain for the term dqax, that is the heat accumulation due to the heat flow in x direction, as equals to, it will be equals to only this term, the last term, that is, it is dava by dava x of, into the bracket, this is kx dava t by dava x over the distance of, sorry, over the volume of dx dy dz. So this is the equation for the heat accumulation due to the heat flow in x direction. Now if I repeat the similar procedure and if I try to get the heat accumulation into the element due to the heat flow in y direction and due to the heat flow in z direction, I will get the equations as, I will get this to be dq ay will be equals to dava by dava y of ky dava t by dava x over the volume of dx dy dz, and this is what dqay, that is what the heat accumulated due to the heat flow in y direction. Next term is dqaz is what the heat accumulated due to the heat flow in z direction, as equals to, it will be dava by dava z of, into the bracket, kz dava t by dava z over the volume of dx dy dz, right? So we got these three equations. First equation is, it is the heat accumulation, it is the heat accumulated due to the heat conduction in x direction. This dqay is the heat accumulation due to the heat conduction through that element in y direction, and this dqaz is the heat conduction heat accumulation due to the heat flow in z direction. And if I add up all these three terms, I will get one more term, and that will be, I think, the first term of this equation. So now I need to erase some of the part of the board. As expected, it is not, this expression is not get fitted onto the one board. So I am going to erase some part of it, and I will write down the combined equation for the addition of all these terms, and that will be I will try to fit it over here itself. The first equation, I mean, if I take down the addition of all these, I will get the term dqa, the heat accumulation, the heat accumulated, or you just remember this equation, since right now I am going to erase this part, even this part also, and so that I can get more space. So remember this one, we are going to get the first term now. And the total heat accumulated will be, that will be dqa will be equals to, if I add up these three terms by taking down these dx, dy, dz common, what I will get is, I will be getting this as, this one as dabba by dabba x of kx dabba t by dabba x plus dabba by dabba y of ky dabba t by dabba y plus dabba by dabba z of kz dabba t by dabba z, and all these terms are get added, and so I have already told you that dx, dy, dz I am going to take it common, so it will be dx, dy, dz will be over here. So we have taken addition of all these three terms, and here we got the first equation. First part of that equation, the energy balance equation. Now let us see the second part. Now we have already considered small g as, what is the small g we have taken into consideration at the beginning. I had written it over here that small g is, it is internal heat generation internal heat generation per unit volume. So I can take down the total heat generated will be dq, total heat dqg as the total heat generated will be equals to the internal heat generation per unit volume multiplied by the volume of this element. So that will be equals to, simply it will be G, that is the internal heat generation per unit volume, multiplied by dx, dy, dz. See, this is the first part of the equation. First part of the equation. This is the second part of the equation. The second part we got it very easily. The next one, the third part was that the rate of accumulation of heat into the element, and that will be equals to, if I take down the heat energy persisted by this one, that will be dq, and we know that this dq is equals to, this is mass of the element into specific heat into dt, where temperature change is, right? And that too, the rate of change of heat with respect to time, then this can be taken as, this dq dot can be taken as, this is mCp into, it will be dabba T by dabba T. Now remember that this capital T is representing the temperature of the element, or say at any point, and this small t is representing the time. But out of that again, this mass, small m mass can be expressed as, this as equals to, small m can be expressed as the density rho into the volume, and what is the volume? Volume is dx, dy, dz. So that's the volume into the specific heat Cp into dabba T by dabba small t, right? And this is, I think, the third part of the equation, which was on the right hand side at the beginning we have seen. Now if I combine all these three parts, what I can get is, the basic energy balance equation will be something like this. This is dqa dot plus dqg dot, the rate of heat generation, has to be equals to dq dot, the rate of change of heat persisted by that body, that element with respect to time. And if I put down all these values from equation number 1, 2 and 3, what I will get? I will get one more equation, and that equation will be, let us take on the first part into the consideration, this first part at the place of dqa, and that is equals to, this is equals to, it is dabba by dabba x of kx dabba t by dabba x plus dabba by dabba y of ky dabba t by dabba y plus this is dabba y dabba z of kz dabba t by dabba z into the term dx dy dz, it's over here, into dx dy dz, it's over here, plus the internal heat generation, that is the second part, that is g into the volume, that is dx dy dz, that is as it is, and it is equal to this term. Now this term, what is this term? Rho into dx dy dz into cp into dabba t by dabba x dabba t. So if I can write it over here, this will be equals to rho cp dabba t by dabba t into dx dy dz. I think I have fitted that part, rho into cp into dabba t by dabba t dx dy dz. So out of that you can check out this dx dy dz, which is the volume of that element, can be get cancelled from one another, I mean from taken common from the left hand side and will be get cancelled with the right hand side. So the remaining part will be, I think it will be now, this is dabba by dabba x of kx into dabba t by dabba x plus dabba by dabba y of ky into dabba t by dabba y plus this is dabba by dabba z of kz into dabba t by dabba z. Now this dy dx dy dz is already cancelled, plus the term small g, which is nothing but the internal heat generation into the element, and that is equals to, it is rho cp into it's dabba t by dabba t. Now this is what the required equation is. All this we have derived for to get this equation, and this equation is known as I'd like to name this equation. This equation is three-dimensional heat conduction equation in Cartesian coordinate system. This is three-dimensional heat conduction equation in Cartesian coordinates. Right? And this equation can be now this equation is also applicable for unsteady case. Unsteady means this dabba t by dabba t exists, means it is unsteady case. So it will take care of all the things. It will take care of the variable k in x, y, z direction. It will take care of dabba t by dabba t and all. So this is the equation, the most fundamental equation, most generalized form of the heat conduction equation in 3 dimensions, right? Now we will eliminate one by one terms from this equation. How it is? By simplifying it. For example, now if I take down in a specific case, if G is equal to 0, if I make G is equal to 0, what does it mean? It means the internal heat generation in that element is 0, and in that case this equation will reduces to another form, that is dabba by dabba x of kx dabba t by dabba x or before we consider this G to be equal to 0, let us consider one more thing. For isotropic material, value of kx is equal to value of ky is equal to value of kz, and let us say that is equal to k. And one more thing I am going to consider, that k is not the function of x, neither x, nor y, nor z, nor time, nor temperature. So under that condition, I can take down k to be constant, and kx, ky and kz, all of them can be replaced by term k, and if I divide the entire equation by small k, what equation I will get? I will be getting this equation. I mean, if I divide the entire equation by k, where kx, ky and kz, all of them are equal to k, then I will get one more form of the equation, that is dabba 2t by dabba x square plus this will be dabba 2t by dabba y square plus dabba 2t by dabba z square plus the g divided by the term k, and that is equals to rho Cp divided by k into dabba t by dabba small t. So this is again the three-dimensional heat conduction equation in Cartesian coordinate system, but for isotropic material. Now out of that, if I consider small g is equal to 0, what equation I will get? I will get this equation as dabba 2t by dabba x square plus dabba 2t by dabba y square plus dabba 2t by dabba z square is equals to, now if I take down this rho and Cp into the denominator, I will get this term to be equals to k by rho into Cp, so that term is replaced by 1 by alpha into dabba t by dabba small t, and this equation is known to be the Fourier's equation. Fourier's equation. Next one. Now if I keep that internal heat generation as it is, and if I make it steady state, so for steady state, what I will get is, for steady state and g is, for steady state means what? Dabba t by dabba t will be 0, but g is not equal to 0. So under such condition, this equation will reduces to one more form, and that is, it will be dabba 2t by dabba x square plus dabba 2t by dabba y square plus dabba 2t by dabba z square. Now we have considered g is not equal to 0, so it will be plus g by k will be equals to 0, and this equation is known as the Poisson's equation. This equation is known as the Poisson's equation, right? Now above all, I would like to take down a few more equations into consideration, and these equations are, if I take down g is also equals to 0 under one condition, if g is 0 and dabba t by dabba x is also equals to 0, dabba t by dabba t is also equal to 0, then we will get one more equation. Just put on these values, g is equal to 0 and dabba t by dabba t is also 0, so this remaining term will be, what will remain? It will be dabba 2t by dabba x square plus dabba 2t by dabba y square plus this dabba 2t by dabba z square, right? That is equals to 0, and this equation is known as the Laplace equation. I hope all of you have studied all these cases, the Fourier's equation, the Poisson's equation, and the Laplace equation in maybe in M1, M2 or M3 somewhere in engineering mathematics. Now this is what the heat conduction equation, this is the heat conduction equation in three-dimensional heat flow for steady heat flow and with no internal heat generation, and steady state. And this is what the Laplace equation can be also written as, this is, I think you know the meaning of this term. The simplified form of this equation is over here. Next, now this is equation for the steady state heat conduction with no internal heat generation and three-dimensional heat flow. If I make it two-dimensional heat flow, this term will be eliminated. If I make it one-dimensional heat flow, both the terms will be get eliminated, and it will be only dabba 2t by dabba x square will be equals to 0. And this is all about the heat conduction equation in three-dimensional coordinate system with internal heat generation and with unsteady state. So I think for today we should stop over here. In the next lecture we will continue the next topic in the same topic, the three-dimensional heat conduction equation, but not in Cartesian coordinate system. We will see that in the polar coordinate system, and then we will see it in the spherical coordinate system. Since all these coordinate systems are also important, and perhaps they are more important for practical applications. Okay. Thank you for today. See you in the next lecture.